Hello, it's good to be with you again today. There is a story that tells us how we get the word Christmas carol, and that is, it comes from a little girl by the name of Carol Poles, who lived in England about 2 centuries ago. The story is that she went missing, and as she did, some of her friends and family got together and decided to go search for her, and they went door to door, and they decided to sing in order to show their good intent. Well, the story is that as a result of that, not only do we get the word Christmas carols, but we also get the idea of caroling, going house to house. Now that's a nice story. I don't think there's much truth to it at all. In reality, probably more factual is that Christmas caroling began even centuries before that with St. Francis, who in the Christmas season when music in the church was so solemn, he introduced some upbeat Latin music, Christmas songs. They were so popular that they began to spread all across Europe. And then over the centuries, that idea of going door to door became more and more popular. There are several theories about it. Some say that it developed out of this idea of the poor people who would go to the homes of wealthy people in order to get something to eat. And that idea of singing for your supper came from that. Others said that it was that idea of going for wassailing, that you would go door to door and you would sing and bring good tidings of great cheer, like the song says. And as a result, you would get food or you would get something to drink. Others even said that it came from the reality that these people were not allowed to sing in churches. And so the only place they could sing is if they go door to door. Well, somewhere in the emphasis of Christmas caroling, all of those stories had to do with what is it that we can receive? What can we get from you if we come to your house? So the emphasis began to move from receiving to giving. I remember a few years ago, we decided here at Monte Vista that we were going to take caroling up a notch or two, and so we organized ourselves really well. We found a recipe for a certain kind of bread. We passed it out to people in the church who made those little small loaves of bread. We wrapped them in cellophane and bows. We put attached information to it about the church services, and we invited people to come. We mapped out the neighborhoods, especially those neighborhoods that were new, where people had moved into the area and possibly hadn't found a church home yet. So we went door to door and we sang, we gave them bread, and we invited them to church. If they weren't home, then we just simply put the bread and the invitation in their newspaper box. Now, we were very careful. We knew not to put it in the mailbox because that was illegal. But we thought the newspaper would be okay. Well, we were wrong. What we discovered was that the next day, when carriers tried to put their newspaper in the box and the loaf of bread was there, they just ended up throwing it on the sidewalk. So the carriers were mad, the customers were mad, and we heard about it. Well, that was the last time we decided to do anything like that. And then a few years ago, the deacons said that they wanted to organize us to send out some teams of people to go caroling to people who were homebound in our church. It's a great idea. We had a lot of fun on the vans. The children's ministry provided hot chocolate and popcorn for us. That made it even more fun. Sometimes when we got to the house, we would stand outside and sing. We had already selected the songs, about 4 or 5 of them. They were within a good range that everybody could sing. We knew the verses, the first and the last verse. We sort of had it down what we were going to do. But when we got there, as I said, sometimes we would sing on the outside, and that would be fun. Sometimes people would invite us into their kitchens, and we would talk a little bit. Sometimes we would be invited to go in because there might be somebody inside the household who wasn't able to come to the door, and so they wanted us to sing in the living room for them as well, and we did. Sometimes they wanted to show us their Christmas decorations. And I began to think, we may be the only people who, from the outside, would come in, see their decorations that they were so proud of, and hear the stories that were behind it. Sometimes those kind of things happened. Most of the time, the people sang along with us, or they patted their foot, or they clapped their hands. They really enjoyed it. That happened most of the time. But always, they wanted us to stay longer than we could. And you saw in this whole encounter this desire that they had just to be with people that they knew and people that they loved. Unlike those original carolers who were more interested in what we could receive instead of what we could give, we discovered that for us, we wanted to be the givers. We were bringing good tidings of great joy, and we thought we were doing that through music. But in reality, we weren't so much of the giver as much as we were the receiver. Because what we received from these families and individuals when we came into their home was far greater than anything we were able to give. Music is a great gift. I hope you find a way to give it and the story that we are telling to someone, and may you be open also to receiving whatever it is they have to give back to you. You'll be the better for it. Have a great day. Merry Christmas.